Welcome to HUDCO Radio. I'm Jim Kennelly. The county's EHE initiative focuses on lowering HIV infection rates here in Hudson County, rates which remain higher than the national and state average. Recently, EHE launched new community outreach and funded an expansion of health and wellness efforts focused on this issue. To understand the EHE initiative and the impact it is having in the local LGBT community, we spoke with County Health and Human Services Director Doris Toon, and then with Hudson Pride Executive Director Elizabeth Shadle. Doris, welcome back to HUDCO Radio. I wonder if you could start by talking a little bit about what EHE is all about.
Well, in 2019, the United States Department of Health and Human Services initiated the Ending the HIV Epidemic, which we refer to as EHE, initiative with the goal of reducing the number of new HIV infections in the United States by 90% by 2030. Now, Hudson County was identified as one of 48 counties in the United States designated as a high-burden area where HIV transmissions occur more frequently. As a result, Hudson County has been the recipient of EHE, or Ending the HIV Epidemic funding, since 2020. And this funding comes from the United States Department of Health and Human Services, Health Resources and Services Administration. And the purpose of this really is to implement innovative strategies to help reach and support persons with HIV who are not engaged in existing systems of HIV care.
Approximately how much is the funding from the federal government on an annual basis for the program?
The county receives approximately $2 million annually for our Ending the HIV Epidemic initiatives. Now, Hudson County was very well aware of the fact that we could not tackle this issue on our own. So, the county established a Ending the HIV Epidemic task force. And this task force is charged with overseeing the Ending the HIV Epidemic initiatives that are implemented within the county, and they're also responsible for helping to come up with innovative strategies for addressing the issue of HIV. Now, again, ending the HIV epidemic by 2030, which is the United States government's goal, could only happen if the county had a coordinated system of care. So as part of this task force, we made sure that we had medical providers at the table. We have federally qualified health centers. We have other nonprofit agencies that are serving this very population who are part of this task force and who are working collaboratively with Hudson County in order to address this, this very important issue.
What are some of the policy initiatives that have come out of the work of the task force? I know there's been various things, and I know it ranges from intervention to public health efforts in terms of things like outreach or efforts as well. Talk about some of the policy initiatives that the task force has moved ahead with that maybe our listeners may not know about.
One of the things that we're really proud about is the fact that the county has implemented a county-wide rapid start antiretroviral, and we refer to that as ART protocol. And we established a standard of care for Hudson County designed to immediately engage all newly diagnosed people into HIV care so that they are able to start the ART therapy the same day or within 5 days of an HIV diagnosis. And what does that mean? That basically means that individuals who are able to start that care early on have a greater likelihood of getting to the point where they are able to achieve viral load suppression and not transmit the illness to others.
Now let's talk a little bit about some of the efforts that have been made in terms of public health. I know that you are very proud of a recent development, a new health center that opened in December. Talk a little bit about that if you could.
Yes. The county, Hudson County, established the first LGBTQ plus health and wellness center in North Hudson through Hudson Pride. And this center was established by Hudson Pride, funded by the county's HIV epidemic grant. And it's designed to be a safe space for the LGBTQ plus community to receive education, testing, and other resources related to health and wellness. And they will also have the opportunity to be linked to HIV treatment and care.
Where is the health center, the new health center, located?
The Wellness Center is located at 4428 Bergen Line Avenue in Union City, New Jersey.
Outreach efforts have been also an important part of the EHE effort. Can you talk about how public outreach has been part of the task force's strategy to address this issue?
One of the things that the county has done was launch a wide-scale marketing campaign. And the whole point to the campaign is to make sure that people are aware of HIV services. We want people to be aware of where they can go for treatment. And that campaign, it consists of a combination of things. I mean, we have social media. We have a website. The address is endhiv.hcnj.us.
Terrific. Now, what other kinds of outreach efforts are underway as part of this campaign?
Well, we have junior posters that have been placed or that will be placed at bus depots, urgent care centers, hospitals, and throughout the North Hudson community to keep the community abreast about the importance of getting tested.
What ultimately is the goal here? You mentioned getting tested. I assume that's part of it. What is the ultimate goal of the EHE program?
Well, it is estimated that 40% of new diagnoses of HIV are transmitted by people who are not aware of their HIV status. 13% of persons with HIV in Hudson County are unaware of their HIV status. 35% are not linked to care. And 41% on HIV treatment are not viral load suppressed. So our goals are to know your status, get tested, get treatment, and live your best life.
Terrific. Well, Doris Toon, Director of Health and Human Services for Hudson County, thank you so much for joining us. Executive Director of Hudson Pride. And she joins us now to talk a little bit about those impacts and hopefully a little bit more about where things are these days with the LGBTQIA community in Hudson County. Liz, welcome. Let's start by that first question. How has the grant funding by the EHE program from the county been a positive? And I guess we can talk broadly about other stuff as we go, but let's start with the EHE.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, Jim, thank you for having me here today. I'm really excited to come on this podcast and kind of just speak about the LGBTQ plus community in Hudson County and Hudson Pride Center overall. So for Hudson Pride Center, as you know, our main location or our first location has always been in Jersey City. The idea to open a second space because we are county-based has always been a big goal of ours, but it wasn't something we could have done in years past. We finally got to a place where our programs, our community had grown to a really beautiful extent, and we felt now is the time. Now is the time to open a second location. And we started looking at other cities in the county that we felt we already had programs or a role in or were starting to impact. And Union City kept coming up as this felt right. This felt like the second location city to be in. And when we started looking at spaces, we found this beautiful storefront right on Bergen Line in the heart of Union City, extremely walkable location, great for public transportation. And when you think of a storefront, right, you think about the impact of who is going to walk past your space and feel immediately safe, connected, and see themselves in the services and the location. And so finding that space on Bergen Line for us and saying, hey, we're a storefront, right? We exist right here, just brings in so much foot traffic for us, right? And so when I went to the board and I said, hey, this is the spot. This is our next big home. And they said, well, how are you gonna fund it? How are you gonna do this, right? And I went to everyone I know, right? Grantors, allies, supporters, donors. And I said, I believe in this space. I need you to believe in this big next step for us. And I need your support. Craig Guy in the county was part of that conversation. The county overall, we do have funding with the county to begin with anyway. That's through a couple different grant programs that we've had with them for years, longer than I've been with Hudson Pride. And through many conversations, they said, well, we are going to be putting out some new RFPs. You might be interested in applying, right? And one of them that came out was the LGBTQ Wellness Center RFP or grant, right? And I looked at it and I said, this fits, right? This would be extremely helpful in our initiatives and goals in North Hudson and in this new location that we are opening in Union City. Without that grant, right, it would have been very challenging financially to open that second location and make it as beautiful, as welcoming, as present, as diverse as our community is, and really securing a place that feels good when you walk in and deserving of who we're serving.
Let's talk a little bit about the wellness aspect of the new center. Talk a little bit about both what it offers and what maybe you've seen as executive director in your interactions with folks who've taken advantage of it, the positive impacts of that being available.
Yeah.
Could you do that?
Absolutely. So it's about a 2,500 square foot ground floor location. We have private offices for individuals who are seeking one-on-one services, and I'll go through those in a little bit. We also have a community space that offers let's say you pop in and you're like, you know what, I just want to sit down and relax for a little bit. I want to get a free meal. We offer that. I want something to drink and I want to watch some TV and hang out, right? Or you say, hey, I really need a safe space to kind of quiet safe space to work out of, maybe do some stuff online, do some homework, search for jobs, just kind of be. We offer that as well. So that's a really good flexibility of the space there. And we offer that in Jersey City too. So that's kind of how we modeled it. But if you look at the spaces, one thing that I'm so proud of and I pride myself and my team on was creating spaces that honor LGBTQ icons, right? So in Jersey City, we have a number of them. In Union City, we did the same thing. Each room is named after a different LGBTQ icon. And when you walk into that space, it embodies their presence, right? So for example, in Union City, we have the Sylvia room, right? And so Sylvia Rivera was a huge icon back in Stonewall, a trans advocate and legend kind of in the Stonewall riots and how we kind of kickstarted our rights back then. So when you walk into that space, from floor to ceiling is the New York City subway. Wallpaper, we have different articles from Stonewall and just a kind of an experience when you're in that room, right? And that's a really cool way to say, not only is this such a artistic area, right, and space, but it's also showcasing people who helped us get to where we are today.
So it seems like, not to interrupt, but it seems like there's sort of a holistic approach.
Yeah.
Is that a good way to describe it? I think that it's not just a matter of services, it's kind of a matter of environment.
Yeah, that's a great way. And to put to that point, so one thing that our space offers is the administrative side of it, where we have offices, our staff are working out of it, they're dealing one-on-one with clients on very real and serious issues. And the other piece is this fun, lively, welcoming space where it's kind of like a community vibe center. Some of the programs that we offer through the Union City office and within the LGBTQ wellness grant that the county gave us, as well as our Minority AIDS Initiative grant that's also from the county, is free and confidential HIV testing and linkage to care whether you test positive or not. So we have staff that kind of work as case managers. So once you get tested with us, if you test positive, we walk you through the process of getting you connected to a provider, making sure you see that provider within a couple days of testing positive, then get linked to medication, care, and then the whole process, right? A lot of individuals we see maybe dealing with housing insecurity, food insecurity, and or, substance abuse or mental health issues. So we also offer free and confidential behavioral health services for anyone who tests positive for HIV. We offer everyone, regardless of their status, supportive services for housing referrals and food support. And then if someone tests negative but is interested in enrolling in PrEP, pre-exposure prophylaxis medication, to reduce the likelihood that they would get HIV, we offer free services for that as well. One goal for 2025 will be contracting with a medical provider to do hours in our office in Union City, which is part of that LGBTQ wellness program initiative, to see the clients at our office, right? So instead of us doing the intakes, doing the free HIV testing, and then referring them out to one of our contracted providers at their location, having that all in-house as kind of like a one-stop shop. And that's really the goal of this program, and something that the county and I have worked hand in hand in ever since we decided to open this second space.
Now, I know you're not part of it, but I also know you've shaped somewhat the development of the county's new LGBTQIA plus task force.
Yes, I would love to talk about that. So what's really amazing is the support Craig Guy has always had for the LGBTQ plus community here in Hudson County and beyond. Oftentimes when we do the flag raisings in the summer, Craig and other political leaders always talk about the history of the flag raising in Hudson County and Jersey City specifically. And if you look back, they were really the first to ever do the pride flag raising, right? So this has always felt like such a welcoming city and county, but it is not without that leadership, right? And I think now more than ever, queer folks really appreciate that and should recognize that, because when you look at the top leadership in America, that's really the opposite message that they're sending our community. So the importance of having allies like Craig and other leaders in the county just means so much right now at this crucial time. And to create a task force, right, for the county, I think that really is the first ever for Hudson County under Craig's leadership. I mean, it's just sending such a huge message right now for us that the county really recognizes the importance of having community leaders, advocates, LGBTQ affirming individuals on this task force to kind of drive what are the needs in the county overall, how do we bring those voices to the forefront, and how does the county executive and the other leaders here listen to that and take those initiatives seriously. And I think that was such a strong an important message that we as a county can send, and as a leader and an example for other counties to kind of do. So Craig reached out with the idea, and obviously as the head of the Pride Center in Hudson County, I've offered my support in so many ways with that. Although I'm not on the task force, many of the people I know are, and I'm working closely with them to say, like, hey, what are we doing in 2025? How can we partner together? What initiatives do you want to bring as a group and a unit to the forefront here?
Well, Liz Shadle, before we let you go, tell folks, if they're interested in contacting Hudson Pride, how they can do it online or by phone. What's the best way to reach you?
Yeah, my cell is, just kidding. Yeah. Just kidding. Follow us on Instagram. Check out our website for all the services we offer. Call our number. We have someone who will pick up that phone and walk you through either if you need services, if you want to volunteer, if you have questions about the work we're doing, if you want to show up at some of our events and help support in that way. There's always ways to get involved, and we would love your help. We would love to see you at some of the things that we're doing and what we're working on. So please reach out to us.
Elizabeth Shadle, Executive Director of Hudson Pride Center, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You can learn more about the EHE Hudson Initiative on the homepage of our website, www.hcnj.us. To keep up to date on county government news and alerts, be sure to follow us on Twitter at HUDCO Tweet and on Facebook at HUDCO FB. To see photos and videos of county government events, follow us on Instagram at HUDCO Insta or subscribe to our YouTube channel, HUDCO TV. You can find HUDCO Radio and hopefully subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks as always to Hudson County Executive Craig Guy and the Board of County Commissioners who support, sponsor, and direct all the programs and services discussed on this podcast. Take care.